I'm Tyler.
And I'm Ryan, and this is Retrobit Unplugged. You know what I love about this time of the year?
The heat.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't either.
But, it's funny that you say heat. Heat reminds me of baseball.
Oh, it is baseball season.
It is baseball season.
The dog days of summer.
It is the dog days of summer, but
in August.
This is where baseball teams really start picking up steam, trying to figure out.
Just a bit to bring up the White Sox.
No. I'm not going to talk about how they have as many wins in June and July as the Yankees.
It definitely was a bit to talk White Sox.
It was not a bit. It was all about baseball. But no, I just love this time of the year.
I mean, if you take away the heat, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Is there any teams in Alaska yet? Because we need to really look into that. So
that would suck.
Yeah, that'd be a cold spring.
That would be awful.
April, May. Ugh.
What would those plant conditions be like?
Next question.
Yeah, that's not important. Anyways,
but you know what? Today, I'm really excited though. Something even more than baseball.
Even more
than baseball. Even more than football.
Wow, that's like your favorite thing in the whole world.
I know.
Don't worry.
Thursday. So we had the opportunity to finally conduct our second interview.
Yes.
Now,
this was a work and a very long progress.
This was. And obviously people are going to know because of the title. But this one's been exciting. And, I don't fault who we interviewed or anything. Congratulations. He had a baby. But we had the opportunity the other day to interview the creator and founder of the only DuckFoot Games, which in turn
is the company behind the new. Technically, it's new, right?
Yeah.
BitBall.
We had the opportunity to talk to Matt from BitBall. Matt is an amazing guy. And he gave us a lot of insight to the game, his inspiration and stuff. So obviously, if you're watching this, you're ready to just go listen to it. So we're not going to hear and yap and talk about the White Sox over and over and over and over again. But yeah, let's transition over and enjoy the interview. Awesome. Well, today we have Matt from DuckFoot Games and the creator of BitBall on Retrobit Unplugged. We want to go ahead and welcome Matt today. Matt has been working on BitBall for a few years now, released earlier this year, and just the mastermind behind that. Matt, we want to say thank you again for being on our show today. Really excited. Really hasn't been any kind of 8-bit baseball game out there. We had the high of Retro Bowl, but I think BitBall is going to fill that need of where we're at. So, Matt, we just want to say thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm glad I know we talked about this back when the game launched, and then, I was out for a bit, so I'm glad we were able to reconnect, and yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, we're going to dive right into it, Matt. I know you got limited time today. So first off, what was the reason for the name DuckFoot Games?
Yeah, so I guess to keep it kind of short, it was basically a nickname between me and my wife. So the story goes, she was getting LASIK eye surgery, and she was really stressing about it, really anxious, and I was just trying to break the mood in any way possible. And so I was like, what if we gave each other like Secret Service, nicknames or whatever. And so I was Duckfoot and she was Goosefeather. And so when it came time to create a company name, I was like, well, I'll just do Duckfoot. So it just kind of stuck.
I like that. It's real personal. I really like that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Um, we're gonna go back and forth with the question. So Tyler's gonna hit you up with the next one.
I mean, we just heard your bright of creativity with coming up with a company name. So my question for you is, what inspired you to create BitBall?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's several things. I think as I've gotten older, I've always played baseball growing up, like little league and up through high school. And even during that time, I was always playing baseball video games. I kind of my first console was the N64, so I played a lot of N64 baseball games, a lot of PS2 baseball games. Um, and as I've gotten older, I've just had less and less time for really playing a lot of baseball games. Um, and the games that were out were just not quite scratching that itch. Nowadays, I don't have necessarily the time to um, sit around for a couple hours and like play MLB The Show or something like that. So I really wanted something that was short, sweet, I could take with me. And it wasn't until I played Retro Bowl back in I want to say it was like early 2021. I got hooked on it, like so many other people. I was just, I was staying up way too late at night, playing in bed, just trying to get one more game in, one more season in. And it kind of dawned on me. I was like, oh, we need a baseball version of this. Like, I could do that. And I very much could not do that. And so I had to learn how to do, I'd never made a baseball game or any game before. So I learned how to make a game, how to do art and animation. And so it took a while to get there, but I think, all of those things really inspired me to fill what I thought was a hole in the market for baseball games. And just visually pulled a lot of inspiration from a lot of the like NES and SNES era baseball games, because that felt like a art style that I was capable of creating, even though I hadn't created it before, as opposed to like 3D modeling or something a little more high resolution. So kind of a culmination of all of those things.
I think that's really inspiring, and it's funny you brought up like the length of time, because in one of our other podcast episodes we talked about like that's the number one complaint of like baseball NBA games these days is if you want to play a full season, like who's got that time, right?
right.
So
yeah, and it's funny, like I sit here and say like, oh, I don't have time to play video games, but I spent 4 years making one, so maybe I do have the time, I guess.
Well, I can say I'm appreciative. You said one thing, the NES, and one of my most fond memories was I had it was actually called Baseball for the NES, and I always loved the simplicity, but I always wish there was more to it, and that's kind of what BitBall brings. So,
yeah, that was really my hope for it. Was I remember early on talking to my dad about it, and he would tell me that when he was a kid, his neighbor had an Intellivision, and there was a baseball game for that, and that they would stay up all night on the weekends, and they would play through game after game after game. How much fun that was! And some of the early prototypes that I showed him, he was like, it took him back to that time, and so that was really my hope, is that it would remind people who played those games when they were kids. It would feel familiar to them.
well,
but then sort of have the modern touches that we're lucky enough to have with like the hardware that we have today, our phones.
Right.
So,
Well, I think you hit the spot. So, that leads us into the next question, which I think is a great segue. So, you talked about 4 years of developing this game. What do you think's been the most challenging for you to deliver this product?
that's a tough one. There's a couple things. I think like the features that were the hardest, that I spent the most like time and heartache on, and honestly, or I'm still not fully happy with, is the fielder logic and some of the batted ball characteristics. There are some types of batted balls that really don't behave well. Like I don't know if you've experienced them in game, but low line drives that are like directly at the pitcher and the center fielder. Um, with the way the game is built, it's sort of an illusion, right? It's all in 2D.
Mm-hmm.
And the ball is kind of playing an optical illusion to make it look like it's sort of coming off the screen. It's really not. It just doesn't handle those directly right up the middle hits very well. That one bugs me, and
Okay.
it only happens occasionally, and it's sort of like, well, I could spend hours and hours and hours figuring out how to make that work better, but it doesn't happen that frequently, at least right now. So that and the fielder logic, it's
Mm-hmm.
not where it needs to be.
Okay.
There are situations where guys do the wrong thing, or they don't do what you would expect them to do, and that's such a big thing with baseball. Is anyone can sit there and watch a baseball game and go, that guy should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you expect that when you're playing a game, right? You expect it to be for them to do the right thing. And so there are some cases where fielders don't have a good understanding of maybe where the runners are in relation to base they're running to, or just some things that haven't been factored in yet. And that was really just a matter of not having the time to develop it further. And so that's definitely one of the things I want to improve now that the game's more stable.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make you feel at ease a little bit. So obviously, Retro Bullet was one of your inspirations. One of the things that they've had glitched since the beginning, and we've been playing it since I think 21, 22 ourselves, is on a 2-point conversion, you can actually have a successful 2-point conversion out of the back of the end zone. So your receiver will actually catch it past the goalpost. It's a glitch, and it's been there, and I don't think they've ever figured it out. So
it's interesting. I don't know if I've ever tried that.
Yeah. And it's only on a 2-point conversion, so if it makes you feel any better, they've gone on to partner with the NFL, Apple Arcade, so don't hold yourself back thinking, it's got to be exactly perfect, because, it's they've showed it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. It's an 8-bit game, right? So,
Yep.
So, awesome.
So, like, obviously what we just saw, you hold yourself to such high standards when it comes to this game. So my question for you is, when it comes to the future of BitBall, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, I on my list here, I have gameplay polish. That is one of the things I want to polish up. I look at a game like Hoopland by Quality Games, and I think that game to me is like the penultimate mobile franchise sports game. Like the presentation that they have, it's phenomenal. So there's a lot of things like that I would just like to kind of tune up and flesh out a little bit more as we go. As far as more real gameplay features, I definitely want to add more franchise features, like some kind of prospect and scouting system, coaches that can influence your team, maybe their ability to, rank up or improve their skills. I'd love to add like an all-star game, a home run derby. I have plans for like an international series, sort of like the World Baseball Classic, where like at the end of your season, you would have the opportunity to coach one of the international teams. Ooh. And then all the players from the league would get put onto their respective international team, and you would play a tournament. So it'd kind of be a chance to like play with other players from the league that you've been playing against for the past season.
Okay.
And I think that could be a kind of cool little thing, and I definitely want to add that at some point. And one of the things that like I've always wanted in there, it never bubbled up the priority list, was some kind of like little fighting mini game. So Slugfest, MLB Slugfest, back on like the PS2 GameCube era, was one of my favorite baseball games as a kid. And I would love to add the ability to like add hit by pitches to the game, and then maybe that there is like a long running meter or some kind of pension score, if you will, that builds over the course of a game or maybe over the course of a season. And if you get hit so many times, then you can fight, and maybe it's like a little 2D fighting, like side-scrolling fighting game, like Tekken or Street Fighter or something like that. I think that could be like just a funny little mini game that maybe doesn't have any real impact on the game itself, but it's just kind of like an Easter egg. I think that would be pretty fun.
So we would get to charge the mound, is what you're saying eventually?
Yeah. So like your guy would charge out to the mound, and then it would kind of zoom in and become this like side-scrolling fighter. At least that's how I can see it in my mind. I just have to just got to make it happen now.
I would love that. I would love that.
That would be awesome. Yeah, no, that would just
be. It would probably just be a button masher. You just sit there and tap the screen and try and outslug the other guy. But yeah.
You know what? I would dig it. And I love the home run derby. I think what you did with having that to hype the game up, having that home run derby on the website. I can tell you, I was in a group chat where we were trying to see how far we could get, and we were posting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, adding that aspect to the game, I think would be really cool. I love how in the game, it's not extra innings, it's home run derby.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I saw that come to life with the MLB All-Star game, which was kind of cool. I had a couple people tweeting at me saying that I had done it before them, but I'm not. I don't think I'm the inventor of that idea. I'm sure other people have said it for quite some time, but that was cool to see.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I thought you took it from. There's actually a MLB affiliate league that they got rid of the extra innings, and they do home run derby. It's been in effect for a few years. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank, but they're out of the Midwest, so.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that, but honestly, the way that sports is going, I think we could see it. It might take a while for people to come around to it, but they did the Ghost Runner thing, and maybe they'd be willing to take it a step up if they really felt like it would make it that much more intense.
Who loves a good home run fest? So, Matt, you've created this game, but we always, everybody always wants to ask the developer the one question. So, are there any secrets or hidden tributes that you'd like to mention that you put in the game, or?
Yes, there are several. There's basically a handful of special names, player names. So when you start a new franchise, or whenever a player is created by the game, it randomizes the name. I have this giant list of names, and it just grabs a first name and a last name and plugs them together randomly. And so there are a handful of special names that if they get randomly generated, if that player gets randomly generated, they'll either get maximum attributes, like right out the gate, or minimum attributes, so they're the worst player that can possibly exist. That one was actually asked for by one of my buddies who has been kind of cheering me along the way as I was developing the game.
Okay.
So I asked him if he wanted to be an Easter egg in the game. He was like, yeah. And then he's like, but I want to have like the worst stats. I was like, all right, you asked for it. So there are a couple, that get maxed out stats, and I don't know if I've ever actually seen one in the wild as I've tested, like as I've been playing the game. Um, so if you ever run across a guy, a player that is completely maxed out, it's probably it might be one of the special players.
Okay. No, I love it. And then did you put any little tributes in there to anybody special in your life or anything?
There is like a shout out to like my family members in the credits,
Awesome.
and my wife. And then I mean, there's a lot of like shout outs to TV shows and movies and stuff that I've always found funny. Like there's a lot of Arrested Development
Okay.
um, jokes and sort of nods to, and there is one of the stadiums. There is an outdoor in the outfield on the wall. One of the advertisements is for Pitcher List. Um, that was definitely a shout out to them. Nick Pollock, who runs Pitcher List, he and I have kind of gotten to know each other over the last couple of years, and so out of a nod to like them and the site, and the community they've built around baseball, I was like, yeah, I'll just throw your guys' little logo in one of the ads. So that's definitely one of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's you kind of get to put your heart and soul out, right, when you're making this game, and it's always cool to see the little things. But no, that's awesome, Matt.
Well, Matt, we appreciate you so much for coming on. And before we wrap it up, is there anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Quality Game for their game Poopland. I think it's phenomenal. Retro Bowl, and there's a new game that is on the way called Indoor Baseball. I think it's coming out on Steam. The developer of that game was very helpful to me after I launched BitBall and ran into some issues. He really helped me out, and he's got several games that he's made. So Indoor Baseball, go check it out. Go wishlist it.
Perfect.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you for having me. This was super cool. I hope the update that's coming out for BitBall here this week. I hope it's well received, and I hope it really stabilizes and improves our playability. So.
Yeah, no, we are super excited, Matt. There's been a lot of hype. Everybody's eager and ready,
Cool.
for it. So, no, thank you, Matt. We do appreciate you being on the show today, and I have a feeling this won't be the last time we talk.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do this again. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, I don't think that interview could have gone any better.
It's probably exactly how that wanted to go.
Yeah, before we kind of talk about everything, I do want to give a shout out to Matt for taking his time, energy out of a very busy schedule. I think literally hours before we talked to him, he dropped another update. So
he did, yes.
He was
a big update.
He was really, really busy. But I think there was a couple things that really kind of, hit me. I loved how personal the DuckFoot Games was.
That was awesome.
I think people try really hard to come up with something. We've struggled for how long for an app name, but like it came really easy to him. So
have we talked about that yet?
Oh, we've released it.
Okay.
We not released the app, but we.
Have we mentioned it?
We have.
Did we just leak something?
It's on our website.
Okay.
But it's a really sweet personal touch. The other thing too is he carried that over, and we sometimes wonder if there's like secrets in like Retro Bowl, but I love that he has a maxed out player and his best friend is a 0 overall. Like, I want to be in the game, but I don't want to be good.
That's the first time anyone's ever said that. I think no one. That's a.
You know, I'm gonna. I bet you Sean doesn't have. I think he's like fan favorite in Retro Bowl, so he's in the game, but he's got good stats. So you know, be humble. Um, so, but I think I think what's really cool too is some of the modes he wants to do in the future.
World Baseball Classic. I need that, my boy. I need that. That's awesome.
His inspiration just for that is I like so we tried this in RBL. Okay. Remember or RBM, we tried a Pro Bowl type thing. That's basically what he's doing is creating a Pro Bowl, obviously World Classic, but like I wonder if he's going to be able to pull it off.
It's gonna be a lot of work because you got to think about of every player and you got to assign every player to a country and then it's a lot of work. But man, if he can pull that off, I would love it to death. That's something NBA show doesn't even have.
No, they don't, but I think it'd be really easy. Not easy, but
I'm
like easy acceptance from the fans.
To cut off, but like majority of the features he was talking about, that it would take that game to a whole new level.
It really would because the one that he talked about was having kind of like a fight scene, charging them out,
slugfest style. Yes,
so I think those kinds of things, it brings. Let's call an ace an ace, okay? Retro Bowl can get a little dry after a while because it's the same thing over and over.
Like now,
a little bit. Like I even feel like myself. I'm just now coming back around. Okay, maybe that's just because I'm doing good again. I don't know, whatever. But when you start bringing in when am I going to fight or franchise mode, you were talking World Classic, like it gives you something to try to fight for every year versus I want a Super Bowl, I want a Super Bowl, I want a Super Bowl.
I think that's the issue with Retro Bowl.
Yeah,
you don't have any of those small extra side modes during the season that you play. It's strictly like even if you're not like, especially if you're not a part of a league and you're just playing Retro Bowl to play Retro Bowl, you just play your season, you play your playoffs, win a title, and you reset. That's all you do.
That's all you do.
This would add an element of I played my season and then I play my playoffs, and now I have my World Baseball Classic game I get to play. I have. Did he say also something about an All-Star game too, or is it just
Home Run Derby?
Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
That's still. I can just go in and play Home Run Derby during the season. Like it adds something new and fresh.
Help practice because the dynamics are so interesting. Yes. So, BitBall, his passion, he said it was over 4 years and he didn't know much about, he had a vision and he's doing it. And, he got shout out by ESPN, somebody from there, obviously the Portland Pickles are all involved in this. So, I think where he's going is I would love to see in like 2-3 years, like Retro Bowl, where he's got MLB signing off on that, and I think he can get it there. I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it doesn't need a lot of tweaks. And
like you said, he admitted that there are some things that he's still working on, but I mean, it doesn't sound like anything that's too impossible to fix.
No, it's not, and it's just gonna keep getting better.
Takes time.
So
you can't build a game overnight. So I mean,
no, I've never built one.
Just gotta give him some time, give him some grace. I mean, he's trying to build a game and raise a family. I mean,
he is.
You can't do both.
It's in the heat of Arizona.
Yeah, see, it's the third thing you have to worry about there.
Well, with that, I just want to say one more time, thank you to Matt at DuckFoot Games for taking that time,
for finding the time.
Yeah, he's been so busy. This has been a work months. We've been trying.
It was supposed to happen months ago.
Yeah, so originally we were going to have this happen in I think like March or April
before the game came out.
And I'm so glad we finally got this opportunity to do that.
I think I'd rather it be after the game came out. Now that everyone's had this chance
Yeah.
to see it
Yeah.
and play it.
But with that, so he did shout out two things. Quality Games, who is the developer of Hoopland.
Hoopland.
I guess big shout out to them. They had the opportunity to help him on some certain things, so awesome shout out to them. Indoor baseball was another one too.
Yeah, he said on Steam, I think it was.
Steam, yes.
The creator of that game
also helped.
Yes, also helped him out.
So, shout out to those people. Just want to give another shout out on that. Shout out to Matt in general.
Yeah, man.
BitBall, I think it's free to play.
It is free. It is very much free to play, and I think there's a premium version within that's kind of like the Retro where if you buy and then you get everything. But
so you can do player.
But I think other than that, the majority of the game you can access for absolutely free.
Okay.
And Apple and Android, I believe, right?
Yes.
And both of those links will be in the description.
Okay.
So if you want to go immediately go download and hop in on some BitBall, it's right there.
Absolutely. So with that, thank you again for taking the time. Please like and subscribe. Not just us, if you made it this far, but please go like and follow
everything related to Matt and DuckFoot Games and BitBall will be below. Link to the game for Apple and Android will be below. His link to his Twitter will be up below. I don't think he has an Instagram, right? It's just Twitter.
I think Twitter, and I think he's on Reddit.
Okay, Reddit's hard to link, so we'll just do his Twitter for now. Twitter and the game links will be down below.
Yep. But yeah, no, like and subscribe ours. We thank you for listening. Thank one more time to Matt.
Yeah.
And like and subscribe. Follow everybody.
Go check out
everything.
Go check out everything. Just start clicking links below.
It's clicky. So, with that,
I mean, that's it for now. This is what, episode 15?
14.
Oh, we missed count. Wait, no, it's not.
14. I don't know. Maybe it's 15.
I think it's 15.
We'll double check the math.
Whatever it is. This has been episode 14 or 15, whatever it is.
We hope you keep it real.